I'm Roger Dalrymple and I'm the chair of the Rangitīkei Rivers Catchment Collective, and we got going probably in 2016, 2017 when I was involved with Beef and Lamb and the Environment Reference Group. With all the challenges coming to us as farmers with the National Freshwater Policy, rather than fight it, we had to start to work together as farmers and work out how we were going to bring society on board with what farming's doing. I contacted a few other people and we organised some meetings in the Rangitīkei to get farmers on board with the concept of working together, helping create a path for us to support farmers and provide education as to how we can improve and get ahead of what society wants. And that's where the community catchment idea came from. Community catchments is all about us taking responsibility for our farming practices and how we look after our soils and our waterways. It's working together and educating people and then getting ahead of where society wants us to be. We're on Waiterapē Station and we're heading out the back of the farm, and Waiterapē is based in the lower reaches of the Rangitīkei. So there's a forestry block between us and the sea, and we're going out to a stream to get a water sample.
The monthly water testing came about really as a means of groups being able to gather information. It's going to show them exactly what's happening in the environment. Is what they're doing actually having a detrimental effect or not? Helping to make those on-farm management decisions if necessary based on these results.
So one thing that our catch root groups have been doing is looking at their stream health in terms of a bug indicator. So here we can look under rocks and look what type of bugs are on the rocks. As you see, when you pick them up, it moves. There's little caddisflies, mayflies. Each bug has a score, you could say. Some are worth 10 points, which is really good, and some maybe snails, which aren't so good. To see lots of bugs is a really good indicator of good stream health. These stream bugs are very sensitive to pollution, so if there's any type of spikes in E. coli or phosphate or nitrate, these bugs normally aren't in the stream. So it's a really good indicator. If you've got bugs, you know you've got a healthy stream.
Farmers love the results because it's tangible, they can see it, it's figures, and that's what farmers love to work with. And there certainly have been cases where there might have been an area that looks like it has had a few issues, so they have spent money fencing off that waterway rather than doing fencing on another part of their farm. They're not just thinking about what's happening now, they want farming to be around for a lot longer into the future, for future generations. They need this resource, they need the land to work for them, and they don't want to have a detrimental effect on waterways. If they can't farm the land, there is no future, so they're not going to harm it.
The government decided during COVID that they need something to help get communities going again and cause employment. So we were lucky enough to be successful in an application for 1.5 million, which allowed us to tackle a weed which is really bad in the Rangitīkei, and it's actually quite bad in the country. It's called old man's beard.
We've come across vines that have been on the properties for over 50 years. It's detrimental to a lot of native trees and plants that are existing in our ecosystem. It blocks out a lot of sunlight, therefore a lot of native species, plants, shrubs cannot grow further. And it becomes a very, very big problem. And our job as Rangitīkei Environmental Group is to try and prevent it from spreading further from out of this district and also to others.
We want to be able to support members of our communities. It's not just a 1 or 2 or 3 year vision, it's a 15, 20, 30-year vision of what we want to have happening in our community. And if we can do that and do it well, if we can get ahead of society's expectations and it comes from the bottoms up so farmers own it, then it's a great story going forward. It's making it sustainable for not just ourselves, but for our grandchildren and generations to come. That's what it's all about.